I got to see that the Jets fired their coach.
Dude, in the middle of the day, we getting off the interview spot and phones buzzing. Like, yo, you see this?
It's
like,
pretty wild.
Robert Saleh. Oof. I mean, do you disagree or agree with the decision?
I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
It looked like they chose Rodgers over that man, though.
Yeah, I'm guessing Saleh lost the locker room because if you're going based off like the defense and how they're actually playing pretty good outside of week 1, and their defense has been steady. It's been the offense.
And they've been that way under him, too.
Yeah, the offense is the reason they're losing games. I mean, they let up 10 points to the Broncos, and then last week against the Vikings, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
they really lost that game, too.
7 points was given up because of a Rodgers pick 6.
Yeah, this is facts.
They held Darnold and that Vikings offense in check.
I mean, that second half, the Vikings offense was, like, non-existent at times, man.
So it must be Saleh lost the locker room. I don't know. I don't know because he's in charge of the defense.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's the head coach, but he's the defense guy as well. And the defense ain't the thing holding them back.
I would agree.
So it's a very curious firing.
I would agree, bro.
Yeah, Rodgers and him must be really butting heads. Saleh maybe lost hold of the players. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
They
but
fired the man fresh off the London trip. They said they had just landed. It wasn't that long ago, man. They was flying back from London. They said, yo, what happened on the flight? What was said? Yeah. How do we get there? And it's at the weird part of the year, too. It's not even like we, far along into the season. We 5 games in. It's like, oh, all right.
You have this Monday night game against the Bills, and that would be for first place.
I'm like, how do we get there? Like that.
Maybe you fire him after that.
Honestly, that to me made way more sense because I'm like, you're going to fire the coach heading into the game that's going to be for first place in the division right now. Like,
so here's another thought.
Yeah.
Maybe he was holding the offense back somehow, some way. Like he had some sort of reign over Hackett and Rodgers and trying to make it more conservative.
Now, Deke, me and you, we believe a lot of stuff. Do you believe that Robert Saleh had more control over the offense?
I'm not saying more
Aaron
control.
Rodgers?
I'm not saying more control. I'm saying there was maybe some stuff that he was trying to do or have them do that went counter to Rodgers and Hackett. And ultimately, he is the head guy, and so
I think that. I don't know. I just feel like with Rodgers, I don't think he's gonna let that fly, bro.
Well, that's why
It's
maybe
Rodgers.
Saleh fired.
I mean? Yeah, fair enough there. Because I was like, I don't see
There's
Rodgers
friction
going
there.
with that. Yeah, it is Rodgers we talking about. Rodgers has like Brady Manning cachet. Like, if they have an issue,
Well, you heard the comments
don't.
about
Yeah.
the cadence.
I did hear that. And then
So
he tried
that
to
was a
walk
little
it back.
sign that
He
there
tried to walk
could
it
be
back.
some stuff going on.
I would agree, but he tried to walk it back and say, "Man, he just kind of threw something out there." It just looks weird all the time. I think of the
very
awkward
weird
exchange on the sideline where he's going for the hug and Rodgers pushing. I'm like, bro, when would you ever do that? Like, nothing about that makes sense to me. I don't care how y'all like downplay. It's like, yo, that's weird.
The funny part about it is Rodgers chose the Jets.
I know. Knowing
chose
that
Saleh as
was
his
there.
head coach.
Saleh went out and met with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you don't necessarily know a guy till you're with him to the
fire,
yeah,
man.
to the degree you are when you're being a quarterback coach together on a team. But yeah, Rodgers shows this.
Yeah. And that is real what you just said. Coach Tomlin during his press conference kind of alluded to that even with Russ, talking about how, he's had stuff elsewhere, but in terms of here, that hasn't been the case just yet. So I do like it, man. It's different, man, when you're doing it with somebody versus when you're watching them do it elsewhere.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy though if you think about. Now I know Saleh's been the Jets coach for a minute, so that plays into the decision somewhat. But his time with Rodgers is literally only
5 games.
5 games.
5
games and 4 snaps.
Yeah, 5 games and 4 plays. There we go. And he's had 3.5 of Zach Wilson. Like,
and he's
come
fired,
on, bro.
He just fired like that.
It's hard out here, bro. It's hard. Hey, man. Shout out to the Jets. Shout out to Robert Saleh. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers. All right. Hopefully everybody is, gonna be better off going forward. Yeah. I'm glad we ain't dealing with that stuff.
You sure
man.
about that?
I mean, I listen, man.
What if that's the spark that gets Rodgers in this offense going for Monday night?
What I deem as better off for Rodgers is very different than I'm sure what you or other people might deem as better off for Rodgers, man. All right. So shout out to them dudes, man. They shout them all out, man.
What do you mean by that?
I'm just saying, man. Hey, man, have a good life, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. I just don't want him to keep having to get up the way that he was getting up last week, man. And I think, it's not the best situation for him right now. But I wish him the best.
Maybe it was Saleh's fault.
We're going to find out.
Saleh was handcuffing the offense.
We'll get some information this week. How about that? We'll get some information on Monday night.
Yeah, the Monday night will be a telltale sign, I think.
We'll see what's up.
We got to see it last year. As soon as we fired Canada,
Yeah, man.
Kenny has 300 yards. The offense
Absolutely.
looks good. It's the first game we have 400 yards of total offense.
Absolutely, man. Unlock the change, right?
Yeah.
So we'll find out, man. We are definitely going to find out, man. But yeah, crazy situation right there.
And that's just a theory, too. Maybe Saleh has absolutely zero to do with the offense.
This is also true. But it's weird.
I'm just trying to think of reasons as to why he got fired.
But you still hear people speak highly of him as a defensive coach because of what you just talked about with the defense. And he has Nathaniel Hackett there as the OC, who is Rodgers' guy. Even dating back to Green Bay to Denver. So it's like, you see what's going on here.
I'm just thinking with Tomlin, and Tomlin has even said this in some of his interviews, that even though Canada's the play caller, even though we have a certain offensive coordinator, he'll oversee some offense and have some type of control over it.
But we saying that's Coach T. Coach T, he hit a little different than Robert Saleh, respectfully Robert Saleh. But it
could be the same approach though, is all I'm saying.
True, very true.
Even though Saleh is a defensive guy, he is still the head man, so he probably can have certain control over certain things.
Since he is a former head coach now, defensive guy. I mean, we did it before. We'll bring him onto the staff next year.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say work with
I don't
Flores,
care.
man. Why not? I'm just throwing it out
Bring
there.
in as many quality guys as possible.
I'm just throwing it out there. I didn't know what his credit was around the league, but I'm like, hey, man, I think
if the defense keeps playing like this,
that's what I'm saying. You can't have
he
enough of
could
them
be
dudes here, man.
The DC. We'll let Terrell Austin go.
Don't do that to TA. We ain't doing that to TA right now, man. TA is vibing out, all right? We're not doing that to TA right now. But if Saleh wanted to join the staff as a high-end senior defensive assistant or something like that, man, we welcome him to the building. That's all I'm throwing it out
He's
there,
going to
man.
go back to some Shanahan tree. Like
You know
he'll
he
be
is.
Mike
You know
McDaniel's
he is.
DC or something
You know
like that.
he is. But if he chooses not
Maybe
to,
go down to the Texans because there's a connection there to Miko Ryans, 49ers
listen,
guys.
Maybe we offer a little bit extra on that thing, man. It worked with Flores. I just don't see why we couldn't do the same with him. Get him in the building.
Yeah, if we could get Saleh on the staff, I'm not going to be against that.
No. I'm always on the lookout now, man. Omar done got me inspired. He be like, hey, man, we don't just take players. We take coaches, too. Yeah. So, shout out.